and welcome to another episode of Lexx Education. It's the comedy science podcast where me, a mother of one, and a comedian, and a sister tries to learn science from her brother Ron. Ron, do you think we need to do that again without the hell scream?
For the love of God, please mute yourself on the Google Meet.
Oh, yeah.
That was horrible.
You've had your hair cut.
Yes, I have. Yeah.
You look like a fresh young boy.
Thank you.
You're less like a grubby wizard every day.
Yeah, I've had my hair cut. I'm going grey on the top now. I've got a couple of greys coming through the fringe.
Wow, you're going to be a little salt and pepper dude.
Yeah.
You've
if
held
it
out,
grays,
actually.
it stays.
How old are you, 28?
29.
Yeah, that's about the age I started to go grey.
Well, I've been salt and pepper on the sides for ages. That's why I started shaving them off. Same thing you did.
Yeah.
But consistently. Yeah. No, I'm thinking about growing it longer on the top and then having a slightly different look for a bit. We'll see how that goes.
Talk me through this. What?
I've got a friend and he's got like similar hair to me, but then almost kind of like a 90s look, I think, where you kind of have it longer on the top and then you can like tuck it behind your ears. It's sort of a messy long look.
Do it.
We're going to give it a go. If not, I'll just cut it off.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Fair. That's fair.
Just feel like I've had this look for a while now.
Yeah. Ron.
Hello, I'm Ron.
Hello, Ron. I've been in Scotland for a week, Ron.
Yeah, how was that? How was your night out with younger sister of the podcast, Meg?
It was great, Ron. I had one of the best weeks of touring that I've ever had. So, like, with stand-up mostly, you're just bipping about, you do your own thing, you drive to Reading, you do a gig, you drive home, whatever. You know, you pop into London on a train, you pop out of London on a train. But then every now and again, there'll be these big group things where, you know, a producer's organised it and you go off and you do a week here and there. I've done Dubai or around Europe and things like that. And so this one was organised by the lovely people of the Gilded Balloon, which if you're a Edinburgh Fringe regular, my child is fine. I just, all she's being asked to do is like probably put shoes on. That's all that's going on downstairs. Gilded Balloon, and it was a little tour of Scotland. So we went to Stirling, the Isle of Skye. What are you laughing at?
Just you talking about your best week ever, about how you were away for a week and just screaming downstairs.
Listen.
It's a sound tableau.
Parents of toddlers will understand. Stirling, Skye, Inverness, Portobello, which is just a little like seaside suburb of Edinburgh, and then just
Portobello Road.
Yeah, well,
Place
Portobello.
where the riches of ages
are
stowed.
stowed. Anything and
Makes it
everything
sound like a
a chop
warehouse.
can unload is sold off the barrow in Portobello Road.
Banger.
Yeah.
Lovely bit of
filigree,
string.
some of our own by the Tsar. Now do yours again.
Lovely bit of string.
You've rotated your desk.
I have, yeah, for the natural light.
Yeah.
It wasn't there initially because the radiator is underneath. It's the radiator is fucked because not only is it under the window, bad, which is where you'd want the desk, bad. It's also got floor length curtains which then cover it, bad. But I don't foresee myself ever having to put the heating on again. So
I think that's the whole point, though. Radiators are meant to be by the window with long curtains by them because they're meant to catch the cold air coming in and heat it before it circulates around the room. Most radiators you'll find are under windows.
Then maybe I'm wrong with that, but the long curtains is just bad. Because that's like having furniture right in front of a radiator. Just
maybe
holds the heat in.
But anyway.
But my understanding was you didn't want the radiator close to the window because then you're just heating air and then it's getting cooled down by the window. Really inefficient.
Oh, I thought it was the other way around.
I'm going to go with me.
Because you've probably got a draft coming in, not a draft going out. Because there'd be more wind outside.
Yeah, but the window stops the wind. That's why it's called that. It's a wind. Oh no, not coming in here.
A wind, no. Anyway, so I was on this tour, and it was really nicely organised, so that there were three of us from Doon South, myself and Jen Brister and Sarah Barron, who were just fantastic company, and then there were also two Scottish comedians on each bill, which I think, Ron, was the perfect mix, because then me, Jen and Sarah, we were like travelling around all together, and then when we turn up, there'd be two new faces to talk to. And I think it's the first time I've ever done a tour like this where I've been with A, women, and B, people like similar to my own age, you know? So we've had a lot in common. We've had a lot to chat about. Not that the other comedians I haven't travelled with over the years have been wonderful, but they've generally been men who are about 20, 30 years older than me. So, you know, just less in common. And we had a lovely driver who drove us around, so I didn't have to do any driving all week. And the car had a massive sunroof, and so I just like saw all the Highlands all the way up to Skye. And then I stayed in a beautiful hotel that overlooked the water on that one. And then we drove back down through the Cairngorms. And I had tatty
Who's doing
scones.
the driving?
The tour manager.
A driver.
A driver. Oh my God, Ron, I loved having a driver.
They sent a town car.
I loved having a driver. Oh, I can't wait.
You could eat
rich
M&S crisps with both fists.
Yeah. And believe me, I did. Actually, eating was the thing I got very wrong on this trip. It was because we changed hotel every day and sort of had about 3 to 4 hours of moving about every day. Eating, and especially on the ones that were more out in the sticks, we just sort of forgot that in some places in the world, food isn't available all day. Like, we'd turn up to places and be like, can we have dinner? And they'd be like, oh, the dinner service starts at 5. And we'd be like, oh, bugger.
A bit of shortbread that's been left on the pillow, it is.
Yeah, like I did eat a lot of that stuff. Or there was one day where I bought some Radiators and some of those flat Leerdammer cheeses and just made stackables all day. You know? Wasn't great.
When me and the gentle boy did our, half a week of railing around northern Germany, we really fucked up the eating. Similar thing. We only had one hot meal in 4 days.
Yeah.
And then when we did, I swear I almost welled up from relief of just sitting down and eating something pleasant.
Yeah. I did a lot of eating more than anybody sat near me wanted me to at hotel breakfasts. Like there was one place where I had a full plate of hash browns and tatty scones and eggs and beans and mushrooms and stuff. And I was like, I'm full. And then I noticed on the menu that they had vegan sausages. And I was like, wait a second. And so I said to the lady, oh, I didn't see those. And she was like, oh, they have to be cooked. Do you want some? And I was like, well, yeah. So I just had a second full meal for breakfast. Nice. And then I was uncomfortably squashy for the rest of the day.
Judith and I went to the spa the other weekend. And
the
Judith
shop
goes
or
to this,
like a spa?
A spa.
Oh.
And Judith goes to the spa fairly regularly, so she's tried out the different food options that are there. And supposedly the only one that's good is the buffet, which for a spa I think is insane. But it's also quite an expensive buffet, so I had to fucking fill my dirty boots with food. I think I had like 5 plates of food.
Whoa.
And then you go and sit in the sauna and you're just like, I'm so full of salmon. In the hammam, just the fish is getting a second steaming. Yeah.
Just salmon coming out your pores as you steam.
The combo though, they had like massive fillets of just like, I guess like baked or roasted salmon or whatever, and then another one of the dishes was cauliflower cheese. That was a magical combo. I guess it's very similar to that lasagna you make, but yeah, just the thick cheesy sauce with the salmon. Brilliant.
Listen up, Ron. It's a dry bones episode today.
Yeah.
It's dry.
It's both Well, we're moving on to less dry biology today.
Good,
so we're
because it's rare for biology to be dry.
all stuff to do with practicals in biology is very dry. I think I've said this to you well before we ever started doing the podcast, like on why I didn't pursue a career in this sort of thing. It's because biology labs, or biochemistry especially, is just mixing colourless liquids together, and then at the end of it, you usually get a different colourless liquid, and then you measure something to do with that, and then you get the results 2 or 3 days later, and then you're like, oh, okay. Biochem labs are dull.
And we're about to express that in podcast form. So listen up, gang. Stick with us.
We've warmed up a bit.
Oh, Ron, we're much less cranky than we were before.
Yeah. We're coming off the back of the Trudy's Time and Place High.
Dibbles in the mix.
What was that one that was like a tree house?
I think that's the Lion King one, wasn't it? Where you were in Rafiki's tree.
No, there was like a tree house, but it was also an encyclopedia or something.
Treehouse Encyclopedia?
Yeah.
Whoa, this is the third biology.
Yeah, I was really surprised by that. I logged on to prep my notes because I do quite a lot of prep before the episodes. I don't just show up to recording. And then I was like, oh, must be chemistry that we're doing. And then was like, no, we did that. And then did the same thing with physics. And then was like, bloody hell. Biology 3. What are you looking at?
My first encyclopedia. It was bundled with most Packard Bell computers in 1995 and 1996.
My first encyclopedia. What was it? Yeah, just called that?
Computer game.
Now, I think
I don't
when
remember this. Oh, wait.
No, Here's the other one that haunts my dreams. And actually, I'd love it if someone listening knew what this was. When there was a Simpsons platformer that was kind of like Lemmings, and you had to get the itchies and the scratchies from one place to another. And on different levels, you would play as different guys. And I think Krusty was a big bit of it. Krusty was a bad guy. That was the other one that we had that I can't find because there's so much Simpsons stuff out there that you can't trawl through it.
I don't remember that one.
No.
I've sent you a thing though. Ski free. Oh my god, the Spider-Man cartoon maker! I'd utterly forgotten that existed.
Where have you sent this? WhatsApp?
Yeah. Oh my god, Ron, do you remember that?
The Spider-Man cartoon maker? I had one that was Simpsons.
Oh god!
Where?
Ron! Let's stop now and make Spider-Man cartoons together! I agree to cookies. Let me in. Let me see. Oh, wow, yeah. Oh, so you had like a selection of backdrops, and then you could like put characters and stuff on them, and then you press the button and it played it for you, you know? You made your own...
Yeah, I had one for The Simpsons, but I don't remember one for
do you
Spider-Man.
not? Oh. Yeah, ski free. Man, that is basic.
Ski free?
Yeah.
Oh my god, I don't remember this one at all.
You would assume that this was malware if it came up today. But that was...
Oh my god.
Oh yeah, and the Yeti.
The Yeti's a big part of the graphics that I'm looking at.
Yeah.
Crazy times. Anyway.
They don't give you enough free games on computers anymore.
Where did all these things come from?
They were just free on the computer. There was like a package of games. You had Rodents Revenge. Do you remember that one with the mice and the cat? And you were a mouse in the middle of a block of things. And then you had to get out and get the cheese without the cats getting you. And you had to trap the cats in blocks. And if a cat was reduced to a single block, then it turned into a cheese and you could go and eat it.
No, I surely don't remember that at all.
Oh my God, do you not? Oh, this one I remember like really, really well.
What was it called?
Rodents Revenge. Oh my goodness, I think I might be able to get it.
No.
It looks a bit like Minesweeper, and so you're a mouse, and then you push these blocks around and try and trap a cat, and then the cat turns into cheese and you eat it.
You know, maybe I do remember this. There's something about the holes in the floor that's very reminiscent. Digging Jim was a big one.
Digging Jim, yeah. You love to dig.
Digging Jim was a hell of a game. I think you can just play it online these days.
Oh, I think I've broken my computer.
What did you do?
I don't know.
I used to be pretty good at Digging Jim.
Didn't our version of Digging Jim have a problem, though, where it, like, cut out at a certain point?
I'm certain we've had this conversation before on the podcast.
Was I just bad at doing it?
I don't think it had a problem.
You had to get diamonds out, didn't you?
Yeah, I don't think we had a problem with our Digging Jim. I think we hadn't bought the full version.
Oh.
Yeah. But I got around that because there was a free map editor. So you could just make your own levels and play more Digging Jim.
That sounds like you.
Yeah, I don't like explaining it that I had a really sad childhood.
Oh, Ron, you did.
I didn't have a sad childhood.
No, you didn't know it was sad at the time. It wasn't sad for you. It was just sad contextually.
It was a little bit solitary, but that doesn't mean it was sad.
No, yeah, it does, Ron. You were making your own underground cave systems to play in, outside and inside. Most of your recreational memories are creating systems in mud to entertain yourself.
I was interested in archaeology. Anyway,
well,
so
that's 8 minutes.
Yeah, I'm gonna close all of these tabs that I opened. Laura, what were we doing last time on biology?
Well, I would have given you an answer, Ron, but I'm thinking of biology 1. Oh, we were doing monomers and polymers and monosaccharides and polysaccharines.
Saccharides, yes, we were, which is a fancy word for...
Sugars.
Yes, or carbohydrates. Absolutely. So we're still on the topic of carbohydrates today, Laura.
Lovely. I've eaten loads of carbohydrates today.
Yeah?
Yeah, I've got a real munchies world in my bot today.
In your bot?
In my body. So I had 2 slices of toast for breakfast, and then I had some toast and taramasalata for lunch, and then I had some hula hoops, and then I had some Belvita biscuits, and then I had 2 tiny chocolate mini rolls, and then I had 2 rice cakes.
Oh yeah, you do have the munchies.
Yeah.
That was a relative very hungry caterpillars.
Yeah. I did a workout
Calorie of
today, and
snacks.
that does make me hungry because I lift, you know? And I've gone up some weights on a couple of my lifts, so my
Nice.
muscles needed repairing of the glucomatic energy that's stored in muscles.
And old Laura Lexx didn't think maybe a bit of protein would help these muscles.
I can't have protein. I'm a vegetarian.
You can have protein.
Isn't there protein in fish eggs?
It wouldn't be the main thing.
Huh.
I think it would be much better to eat a chicken egg.
Yeah. I often do crave chicken eggs after I've worked out.
Probably because you're not eating enough protein after a workout.
Probably.
Because
Then I
you're
get the
eating
tired,
rice cakes
sleepy
and
sleeps.
Cadbury rolls.
No, they're not Cadbury's. They're M&S. You know, in the
Oh.
tubs.
Yeah.
Yesterday, I ate most of a coral reef of Belgian seashells. It was so good.
Yeah, I think after you work out, maybe try some protein.
What, just some eggs? Stop trying to get the eggathon earlier and earlier.
No, you could get it from beans.
Oh, I don't want to cook anything after a workout. I'm tired.
You didn't ask for this help. I'm going to stop trying to give it. You're happy. I just wouldn't be happy if I was you. And I need to separate myself from that.
That was a really horrible moment in the podcast history there, Ron. I'd like to take the listeners. I'd like everyone to just have a minute where they sit and really absorb what that would feel like to be that person. You haven't asked for this help, so I'm not going to give it.
Do you want?
You are happy. I just wouldn't be happy if I were living your life.
I think that's fair. You didn't ask for any advice, so why was I giving it? Laura's pretending to be very sad now.
Well, a weird thing happened just as we were being sad, and I'm trying to come off my antidepressants at the moment, so you know when you're getting floaty thoughts just all over the place. I got the list of people that will be on the news quiz on the same panel as me, and my immediate reaction was, oh no, because they have really definite personas of who they are, and I'm just don't have a personality. And then I was like, you do, you just forget about it when you're around other people. I'm
And
not very good, and this is a real downfall of my career. I'm very good at being myself in a situation I'm comfortable with, but because I don't really like being sociable and I'm not easy in social company, panel shows and stuff, I'm not the same persona as I am when I do my stand-up because I'm just not as comfortable, whereas other people are really good at it. So I need to go into this panel show tomorrow and just record pretending like it's a me solo show and that everyone in the audience is there for me.
Yeah, maybe that's the energy other people bring to it all the time.
I think it must be. I think that's what separates your A-casters. He doesn't go on a panel show and go, right, this is Mock the Week. How do comedians do on Mock the Week? He goes on and does Mock the Week in his own style, and that's the difference between a great and a me.
Yeah, maybe. Also, I think I think there's, but also I wouldn't be too hard on yourself because it is just a different skill as well. Like, you're very, very good at stand-up. You've done a lot of it and you've honed that. I don't think it's a failing of yours to be thrown into a completely different context and not be as smooth as...
No, I think that's fine. And I haven't had, regular experience of doing it. So it's not like I'm doing panel shows every month to just... And by the time Mock finished, I was really in the swing of how to be myself on it. But the problem with a stand-up career is that in order to progress, you get really good at stand-up and then basically just do other things to be successful.
Yeah.
And you put out specials, but the success is being in other scenarios. So if I want to sort of keep progressing and keep paying the mortgage, you have to be able to do other things.
Well, let's do this for a Patreon special. We'll do a panel show and you can practice.
That would
and
be
you'll
so
feel really
fun.
comfortable
Siblings,
being
the
yourself
panel
on
show.
here. Yeah.
Let's get oldest and younger sister of the podcast on.
Yeah, and then maybe you and husband of the podcast could be team leads.
Yeah.
The Hislop and Merton of the situation.
Are you going to host? Are you the Boris Johnson?
Yes, I'm Boris Johnson. or do we... Well, Yeah, we'll do like a science panel show, and then I think it makes sense if I host. If I go on one of the teams, that's just unfair.
Yeah. Is it going to be science?
Maybe.
Okay.
There'll be a science round.
Okay.
Well, that'll be fun. Anyway, so that's
15 minutes in. We've got...
Was that only 6 minutes since we last stopped?
Yeah, we talked about my failings as a comedian for way less time than we talked about digging Jim.
Well, we weren't talking about that the whole time.
No.
Yeah.
We have only got 25 minutes of the lesson left, though, and I've just written down eat beans after a workout.
Tofu's good as well.
Like just baked beans.
All beans would be quite high in protein. What I would do, though, is just get a protein shake and just drink that after your workout. And I know what you've said before about, like, you'd think that you'd use it as a meal replacement. How about this? Just don't.
You do not understand how my brain works, Ron.
Just drink it like a nice smoothie. After the workout, have all of your other meals as well.
I would never ever drink a smoothie.
No, drink this one because it's got lots of protein in it. Adjust.
I can't do that, though.
I don't understand.
Um,
Just instead of one other drink you have that day, drink that instead. They
but that's
taste
got
like
way
chocolate.
more calories in it than tea.
It's like 150 calories.
That's way more than tea.
Yeah, but you've just done a workout. Cut out the M&S chocolate rolls.
No, that was why I did the workout.
And drink that.
That sounds horrible.
It tastes like chocolate.
Not as much as an M&S chocolate roll tastes like
No,
chocolate.
but, you know, it would help your muscles.
My muscles are fine.
I think if you're craving eggs, an object that usually haunt your nightmares after a workout.
Craving them. I'm not like some
You
goanna
literally
crawling
said
around
sometimes
edges.
you crave
looking for
eggs. Those are
unattended
words.
nests.
Those are words you used.
Yeah, but like, it's probably because I don't eat them, so the craving goes unsatisfied.
Yeah. Eat an egg, eat some beans, eat some nuts. Loads of foods are high in protein.
Oh, I eat loads of nuts.
Do you?
Yeah. The other
Just
day,
never
I
when
just
I'm
had
around?
cashew nuts for dinner.
Well, nuts are very high
The
in
thing about
calories
nuts
as well.
for me, though, Ron, is I don't digest nuts. I just poop out loads of nuts. So
Yeah.
I don't think any of the protein gets in my body.
Just have the shake, man.
I don't want to. Isn't it expensive, protein powder?
No.
Do you remember when you were taking that loam powder all the time?
Yeah, but then my shits became too powerful. And it was awful to drink.
It wasn't a drink. That was a raw meatloaf. It was so horrible
I
watching
couldn't
you
get
chug
it
that
down.
out.
Maybe.
God, that was a bleak point in your life when you were all heartbroken and living in the hutch and just
Nothing wrong with a bit of gut health.
drinking loam powder.
No, now in my overnight oats, just a tablespoon of flax seeds, tablespoon of chia seeds. It's all the fibre I need. Fibre is what's in your food
Broadband.
when you eat sort of whole foods and natural things. Laura.
Yeah, that's like my granola. I have rolled oats and nuts and honey and all baked together.
No fibre in honey, but the sentiment was good.
The nuts is fine and the oats is fine.
I don't know if there's much fibre in nuts, to be honest.
You just
but
said whole foods, a whole nut. It's literally
not
called
every
whole nut.
whole food, though. A roast chicken's a whole food. It doesn't mean that there's a fucking load of fibre in it.
Oh, I bet there is in the bones.
No.
In the skin?
No.
Feathers?
No, there's not fibre in chicken. Anyway, we're doing tests. We're doing tests for sugar, Laura.
Okay.
Now, there are two different types of sugar. We have reducing sugars and we have non-reducing sugars.
What are you Googling? If there's fibre in chicken,
Yeah.
is it telling you about muscle fibres but not about fibre, the macro?
Meat, chicken, turkey, fish, and dairy products do not contain dietary fibre.
Yes. I know.
Do you have to feed a chicken fibre, though?
You have to feed all things fibre.
Not me.
Well, you know when you were saying that nuts just pass straight through you?
Yeah.
It's probably because there's no fibre in you.
God, what have I got to eat now?
I told you at the beginning of the year, 2025 was all about your macros.
What's a macro?
It's the different types of things.
It's a Scottish bird!
I didn't even get that.
Macro!
Right. No, it's just like
That's been a murder.
carbs are a macro, proteins are a macro, fibres are macro.
Yeah, you can't just say it's all about your macros and then say fiber's a macro.
Yeah, it is. And then it's about like not worrying that much about like how much you're eating or like, what's is it this, is it that? But it's just like get all of these things that you need and then you'll be all right.
But I am fine.
And then why are you asking questions and craving eggs?
Because I just wanted some eggs one time. Today I didn't want eggs.
You said quite often after working out, I crave eggs.
Yeah.
And then you got
Last week
upset
I
at me
had
because I
eggs
said I
after
wasn't
my
going to give
workout.
you this advice. But now I'm giving you the advice.
I'm not digesting it, Ron. Possibly because of a lack of fibre in my brain.
Your perfectly smooth, non-fibrous brain. Smooth like an egg. I've got some egg snacks in the kitchen. Just
What do you
boiled
mean
up some
by
eggs
egg
this morning.
snacks?
Some like boiled eggs just ready to go if I need a snack.
Ugh. What about corn? I snack on corn out of the fridge.
Yes, but you snack on those filled balls.
And sausages.
The sausages might have a decent amount of protein in it. Those filled balls have no nutritional value.
They're mostly corn round the edges.
Yes, and butter in the middle.
I think they're vegan friendly, so I don't think it is butter.
No, but it's some sort of cheesy, fatty thing.
Yeah, but made of beans, because it's vegan.
Corn isn't made of beans.
It's made of mushrooms?
Fungus.
Mushrooms.
No.
You are being pedantic today.
Well,
Ron, we've got
Micah-
15 minutes.
a mushroom's just like a fungus's penis. It's not a creature in itself. Anyway, so we're doing tests. There's two types of sugars, Laura: reducing sugars and non-reducing sugars.
Reducing sugars and non-reducing sugars.
I can't remember if we covered this in GCSE or not, but reducing there refers to the concept of reduction in chemical reactions, i.e. oxidation and reduction. Have we covered those as concepts?
Let's say, for safety, no.
Well, we will cover them in more detail in the chemistry course. At
I
some
think what
point
you mean is
available.
some detail. Can't be more if we didn't do it.
Well, more detail than we're going to do now.
Oh, okay.
Don't try and outsmart me. Essentially, all you need to know for the very, very basics, oxidation is the process of giving an electron to something. Reducing takes an electron. No, that's completely the other way around. Wait. Hold, please, caller.
I'm just going to look at Mackie for a while. Ron, it's a rain episode here.
Yeah, oxidation is the loss of an electron. Reduction is the gain of electron.
Oxidation, losing an electron. Reduction is gaining an electron. That makes no sense.
Well, in oxidation, not all the time because you can have oxidation without oxygen. And essentially, like the oxidation of a metal rusting, basically, that is an oxidation reaction. They lose electrons, but they gain oxygen. If you were then to reduce that, they would gain electrons but lose oxygen, which is where the names of it comes from. But not all of these reactions, like that was where we first sort of worked it all out. And then later on, we realised actually these are bigger brackets of reactions that are going on, but they just don't always have to involve oxygen.
Right.
Which is where the names come from. So you've got these reducing sugars and non-reducing sugars. And basically, all that means in the context of testing for them is different tests work for them. Because they will act as a reducing agent or not in different scenarios, essentially. Reducing sugars include all monosaccharides. Can you name any?
Hang on. Glucose.
Yep, glucose, fructose, galactose, all of these. And then there are some disaccharides like lactose and maltose that are also reducing sugars.
Lactose and maltose, did you say?
Yep.
I can't spell anything today. Okay. It's probably the lack of eggs in your diet.
No. That's the afternoon sleepies.
Hmm.
It's probably the sugar crash from the M&S chocolate.
I had to eat them, Ron, because they went past their best before 4 days ago.
I think you know that you didn't have to eat them.
I wanted to eat them, Ron.
Yes, that's okay.
So what are some oxidating sugars?
No. So they're not oxidating sugars. They're just not reducing. The other disaccharides, like sucrose, is the other one that we've heard of. And then simple polysaccharides fall under the non-reducing sugars.
What's a simple polysaccharide?
A longer chain of something like glucose.
But not a... what would a complex... What's the difference between simple and complex, basically? Like, where does that definition fall?
Size. So think something like starch or glycogen, the two that we've heard of, or... what's the other one called? Cellulose. Those are all complex polysaccharides because they're huge structures.
Right.
I don't know the name of any simple polysaccharides.
Did you say fructose was non-reducing?
Fructose is reducing because that's a monosaccharide. All monosaccharides are reducing.
What was the disaccharide you said?
Sucrose.
Oh, that sounds like the best one.
Sucrose syrup? That's a thing that is talked about, isn't it?
It sounds like the sugariest one, you know. If somebody said you want this sweetened with lactose, maltose or sucrose, I'd say sucrose. Maybe it's because it starts with SU, like sugar.
Sucre is that French for
French or
sugar?
Spanish, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, lactose, then you're thinking, it's going to get milky.
Yeah.
Maltose, I'd be Maltesers.
But I think it would be biscuity, which I might not want. Isn't lactose what you're allergic to?
No. I'm allergic to cow's milk.
Oh.
But not lactose. Which is very frustrating because lots of people in my life has gotten this wrong. And they'll be so sweet and I'll stay at their house and they've gone to the trouble of buying me lactose-free cheese or lactose-free milk and stuff. But, I mean, I do drink it because I drink cow's milk anyway, because it's just not so bad for me. But it's just, they went out of the way, but they've still bought something that I'm allergic to. And then even more, worse than that is they'll go out of their way and they'll buy goat's cheese, which I don't even fucking like.
Ugh, no.
So the big one, the most famous one when it comes to tests, because it tests for the reducing sugars, which covers all of the monosaccharides, your glucoses and whatnot, is something called Benedict's test or Benedict's reagent.
This came up in the quiz I gave you, Ron.
Yes, it did.
You couldn't remember it.
No. Because I think it's good that we've had a jolly old silly episode because this is fucking dull. It goes thusly. You put your the thing that you want to test for sugar into a beaker. Add some blue Benedict solution to it, and then you heat the mixture, put it in a water bath, and bring it to a boil.
Hang on. Blue Benedict solution.
Blue Benedict sounds like maybe a pirate.
Or a monk that got kidnapped by pirates.
Benedict's a very monkey name.
Yeah. Then we're going to bring it to the boil.
Or maybe a particularly saucy king. Blue Benedict the First.
Yeah. Or a cold king.
Yeah. And then, once we've done that, it will change colour. So it starts off as blue. And then it goes through the Roy G. Biv spectrum, depending on the concentration of reducing sugars in the sample. So blue, green, yellow, orange, and red. The Benedict's test is what's known as semi-quantitative.
Ooh.
Do you know the difference between quantitative and qualitative?
Yes, so quantitative will give an amount result. Qualitative will give a describable, anecdotal amount of result.
Yeah. Shout out for quantitative. That's just a fun word to say. It's like you're falling down the stairs.
Quantitative. It's a bit like that test that we were doing the other day. Spectrometry. Quantitative spectrometry.
Quantitative, I'm quite confident in every time I'm saying it the same and correctly, whereas spectrometry, I am not.
I bet people that have gone to Oxbridge say like quantitative or something, to like.
Well, I do say qualitative. I don't say qualitative.
Quantitative.
It's semi-quantitative because you have it going through these different colours. So you can empirically say if one of them was red and the other one turned it green, you could empirically say the one that had red is more than the one with green. But it's only semi-quantitative because you can't say this has a concentration of 5 moles per decimeter cubed and this one has a concentration of 1 mole per decimeter cubed. That sort of thing.
Yeah.
Understand? Just the semi-quantitative?
Yeah. Why is that semi-quantitative and not qualitative then?
Because qualitative...
You did say qualitative, actually.
I did, actually. Because qualitative would just be saying, this is good, that's hot.
But are we not doing that, saying this is sugary?
Yeah, but...
What is this test finding out?
Whether there's reducing sugar in it.
Yeah, so
it's testing
that
just for the presence of them.
It's qualitative in that, this is reduced sugary.
But qualitative research would be something like, what do you think about like these new plans for the Western Harbour in Bristol?
What do you think, Ron?
I think that
now
it's in an area...
definitely considering jumping.
Yeah. I think that it's in an area that I'm surprised they haven't developed before because you've got a beautiful view of the bridge and whatnot. They are planning to make 50% of it affordable housing. I think that's not enough, but I think it's all right. And that area is a bit of a hellscape of roads. So, it's all... there's one park or like bit of green that's going to get developed, but the rest of it's not great places anyway. So I'm okay with it. It was going to happen. As long as they don't like do anything to Lee Woods and some of the green spaces around there, I think it's all right.
Do you think you'll buy one of the affordable houses?
Depends what I'm doing in 2032, which is when I believe it'll be fixed. If you were to do Benedict's test and it stayed blue, what would that indicate, Laura?
No reducing sugars.
Does it mean that there's no sugar in there?
Yeah, just non-reducing ones. Not reducing ones. Some simple polysaccharides, perhaps, or some disaccharides.
Very good. Or just no sugar at all. How do we test, then, using Benedict's test for these non-reducing sugars, I wonder?
See if any bees come along.
No. No insects are harmed during these tests. We use the fact that some disaccharides, well, all disaccharides, but these some non-reducing disaccharides and simple polysaccharides, they're all made of the same thing. What are they made of?
Carbon and hydrogens.
Bigger than that?
Hydroxyl groups.
Bigger than that?
Monomers and polymers.
What are the monomers?
Polymers.
No, I said, what are the monomers? The monomers aren't polymers, are they?
What do you mean, what are the monomers? Sugars?
What are the monomers?
What do you mean?
What are the monomers in disaccharides and polysaccharides?
Monosaccharides?
Yeah. And all monosaccharides are...
Covalent bonds.
They are all molecules. Really well done, Laura. Think about what we're talking about today.
Yeah.
Benedict's reagent only works with reducing sugars.
Mm-hmm.
We're trying to test for the ones that are non-reducing. Now, we've savvily worked out between the two of us that the non-reducing sugars are all made up of the same thing, monosaccharides. Why is that useful in this specific instance where we have something that tests for reducing sugars and they're all made up of monosaccharides? What's the link between those two things?
If you reduced a monosaccharide, it would just become a single thing. Can't reduce a mono. It's already a mono.
You've forgotten what reducing means? So we have a test for reducing sugars.
It's gone past the point of learning, Ron.
We have a test for reducing sugars, and we have non-reducing sugars that are all made up of monosaccharides. Now, I am not leaving this Zoom call until you have connected these dots.
It's Microsoft Teams.
It's not. It's Google Meet.
Oh, it's Google Meet and Clean Feed. Oh, I got charged for Riverside again today. I need to cancel that.
Yeah, it's dog shit.
My eyes are so small that they can hide behind the frames of my glasses like a cartoon character with no eyes.
Yeah, you do have piggy small eyes. Connect these dots for us, Laura.
Do the dots again.
We have a test for reducing sugars.
Which means they are gaining an electron.
And we've worked out that all of the non-reducing sugars are made up of monosaccharides.
They don't have an electron to give.
Read your notes.
There's nothing in my notes.
Apply yourself.
I can't. Pages are really thick. Chirality?
Read your notes from this lesson.
Oh, God.
Why would it be in a previous lesson?
Because we were doing this then as well.
No, we weren't.
I know I'm getting upset, Mackie. It's okay.
We have a test for reducing sugars, a concept we've only learnt about in this lesson.
Yep.
And we have non-reducing sugars that we've savvily worked out are made up of monosaccharides.
Yep.
Yeah.
What are you asking?
I want you to connect those two
I don't know what you mean by
concepts.
connect the dots, though. That could mean any number of things. What is the question?
No. Apply yourself with some critical
what's
thinking.
the question?
Why don't you think about the test for reducing sugars? What reducing sugars do we know?
Monosaccharides.
Yep, and we've got these non-reducing sugars that we've worked out are made out of...
Disaccharides.
No, they're made out of monosaccharides. As I've said quite a few times.
I thought you said the not reducing sugars were the disaccharides and the simple polysaccharides.
They are! And what are they made out of?
Ron, I'm not even playing dumb. I don't understand what you're asking.
I'm asking you to connect the dots between these two
fucking
things.
say connect the dots one more time and see if it gets the same result, knobhead. Connect the dots. Sew them together, draw a line between them.
We have a test for reducing
Oh
sugars. What are the reducing sugars?
Monosaccharides
Yes.
and lactose
And
and
we've got these non-reducing sugars
yes,
that are made out of...
simple polysaccharides and some disaccharides.
No,
like
those
sucrose.
are non-reducing sugars, but what are simple polysaccharides and disaccharides made out of?
Monosaccharides.
Which are...
Reducing sugars.
Yes. So if we break those up into their small constituent parts, we then have reducing sugars, which then Benedict's reaction is going to work for. That's the dots to connect.
I didn't understand what you wanted me to do with the gap between the dots. I didn't know what on earth you were asking for.
The connection of we have a test for what these things are made out of.
Why didn't you just say, how could you test for not reducing sugars or something?
Because that's what we're talking about. How to use Benedict's... That was the whole bracket that it's all under. So, what we do is... Well, how do we break up polysaccharides in our body, Laura? Do you know?
Saliva?
Further along than that?
Stomach acid?
Stomach acid, yes. What you do is you add some dilute hydrochloric acid. The stomach acid actually isn't very dilute. But we add dilute hydrochloric acid and then we neutralize it. The acid will break down the non-reducing sugars into monosaccharides. We can use sodium hydrogen carbonate to neutralize it again. And then we can then just do the Benedict's test. If we boil it, it will then change colour if there are sugars. Make sense?
Yep.
Smashing. Only 2 more tests to do.
No, we've run out of time, I'm afraid.
Oh, we can't spend another lesson on
Ron,
this.
we've been recording for 45 minutes. We're stopping there.
Fuck.
The 6-year A-level train is go.
But I think this is how we eke it out. Just more nonsense.
There's no eking to be done. It ekes itself. Suck. I've tried to do some swift revision, but I don't think it's going to go well.
I was just looking at these example images in this plate up to see if I could learn from it, but I don't think they're real kitchens because there's like places you can't get to and the automation isn't doing anything. And they've got long sort of beer keller style tables and more coffee tables than maybe we're not using coffee tables.
Here's the thing, Ron. I've been wondering about that. Coffee tables and these frickin' plant pots. The flower pots.
I think it's coffee tables in these rooms that we don't use in the spare space.
Okay, maybe that's tonight's pizzas.
Maybe that's tonight's pizzas. Are we recording?
Yeah.
Right, we're doing a quiz. We're doing a quiz. Quiz time. Quiz time.
Wow, that's a lot of coffee tables.
Yeah, loads.
And plants in the coffee tables. And look at all those flower pots, Ron.
Yeah. We've been missing a bloody trick, I think.
How are they lining up that many normal tables?
Well, that's the thing. But if you look at the research corner, you can't get to that copying desk. So this is not a real setup. Also, the cheese and the mushrooms going onto the pizza, that's not doing anything.
Yeah.
So I don't think this is real.
No.
But then they've clearly played a bit of it because there's dirt on the floor.
No, do you know what's happening there, though? The tomatoes going into that mixer, cheese and mush is coming forward. They're chopping there and then putting a pizza dough on top of it.
Sure.
Because those are uncooked pizzas.
Whoa, look at this one.
It doesn't actually say what day that is, though. What in Beastie's name?
Look at all those coffee tables.
Look at all those chickens.
They've just got 3 tables and 10 coffee tables.
And plants. All right, Ron.
Coffee tables, man.
Pizzas at 7:15. We're going coffee table crazy.
Yeah. All right. Right. We're in for a quiz now.
Oh, God. This is going to be so bad.
Where are we? What hospitals? What schools? Where are they? Where the hell are they? Laura, what are the 2 types of sugars?
Reducing and non-reducing.
Sick. 2 points.
Yes.
What does reducing refer to?
Oxidisation.
Need more.
Oh, bollocks. Adding oxygen to the sugar molecule.
All right, I'm not going to give you that.
Okay, that's fine.
Because
I didn't know what it was, the answer.
Yeah.
Yeah. I felt
because
it as I
also
was saying it, Ron.
Oxidation's the opposite of reduction.
Yeah.
Yeah. So reducing doesn't refer to oxidization. It refers to the reaction going the other way. Okay, Laura, what does Benedict's reagent test for?
Tests for whether it's a reducing sugar.
Reword that better.
It indicates if there's a reducing sugar present.
That's better, yeah. It tests for the presence of a reducing sugar rather than whether what you've got is a reducing sugar, because it could be a mixture. And then Benedict's reagent would just tell you if there was one in there, not that everything in there was a reducing sugar. How can you make Benedict's test for non-reducing sugars?
Piss. I do remember discussing this. You can... Oh, how did you do it? Because reducing sugars are monomers. So non-reducing sugars were more polysaccharine, more complicated ones. So you had to break them down a bit and then put it in.
I'll give you 1 out of 2 marks, because you do have to break it down. The non-reducing sugars was your disaccharides and simple polysaccharides. Monosaccharides are all reducing sugars, so what do you use? You use hydrochloric acid, aka stomach acid. That breaks them down. And then you got your reducing sugars. Laura,
Yep.
describe what's meant by semi-qualitative.
It's...
Sorry, semi-quantitative.
Semi-quantitative means it's it's a result that is numerical or about an amount, but not precisely. So it's a result that indicates the presence, but not the exact amount. It's not a descriptive result. It's a measurable result, but it's not completely.
Try again.
No, that's all the words.
Okay, no. It's semi-quantitative because you can use it to empirically say, like, there's more reducing sugar in this one than this one because of the colour thing. Or even you could say there's a lot of reducing sugar in this one because of the way that it turns the different colours. If it goes brick red, you're like, whoa, lots of reducing sugar. If it goes green, you're like, a little bit of reducing sugar. But from those, you can't say, well, because of this Pantone of green, that means that it's this concentration and therefore there's this much. It's semi-quantitative because you get an indicator of quantity without being able to measure it.
I think that's what I said.
It might have been what you meant, but it's not what you said.
We'll agree to disagree.
All right, Laura. Well, it's been a long time since we recorded that episode.
Ages.
So I was fairly impressed actually with that knowledge from you there.
It's because I did revision, Ron.
Yeah, helps.
Yeah.
So you got 4 out of 8.
50 bloody %. Bang on with my GCSE results.
Absolute bloodbath coming up in chemistry.
Oh, shit. We had a lovely message on the Instagram recently, by the way, Ron.
Oh,
yeah. Hang on. Oh, what the fucking fuck was that? The most horrible video just popped up. Someone called Blossom Cats just found your pod and binge listening. I'm scared it's going to come to an end. So listen up, Blossom Cats. When you finally get here, we're still going. You've got ages. You're gonna be fine.
How far in did they get before they were just like, oh, these guys are quitters.
I think more probably worried that we'd fall out so savagely that we couldn't continue.
No, whereas we're better friends than ever.
Okay, first things first in this outro, Ron, I want to just say, if anybody remembers any of the games that we were discussing, your Ski Free, your Rodents Revenge, your Digging Gym, I want to hear about it.
Pyjama Sam.
Pyjama Sam?
Did we not mention on this? We've talked about Pyjama Sam on a different episode, maybe.
We haven't talked about Pyjama Sam.
We did talk about Pyjama Sam.
Who's Pyjama Sam?
We can't keep having this conversation about
No, Ron,
Pyjama
we have
Sam.
not discussed Pyjama Sam.
We did discuss Pyjama Sam.
You might have been looking at Pyjama Sam. I've just Googled Pyjama Sam, and that guy is not... I do not remember him.
Pyjama Sam's another one that we had. Looks like it came out in 96 and might have been after your time. Pyjama Sam, no need to hide when it's dark outside.
I have
Thanks,
never
Pyjama
heard
Sam.
of this before in my life.
Well, that's of no concern to me.
This must have been after my days.
We had one disc and there were 4 different games of it. One was Pyjama Sam. His friends are broccoli, I think. We had, there was one that was about like a car
would his
that
friend
could travel
be a
through.
broccoli?
I don't know. We had another one like his friend was a car. No. There was a time traveling car.
You can't have a friend that's a broccoli and one that's a car. That's insanity.
No. The time traveling car was a different game.
Right. No, I have no memory of discussing Pyjama Sam. These are some thoughts you've had alone.
Sorry.
That's okay, Ron. You're allowed to have alone thoughts.
Putt travels through time.
What's he talking about, Mackie? I was reunited with Mackie yesterday. It's glorious.
Yeah, Putt travels through time was another one.
I'm very worried about how I'm going to cope without Mackie for all of New Zealand. That's a month without my dog.
Yeah, where's she going?
She's going to some friends of ours. The Bag of Bones is owners.
Aw.
No, Putt Putt Travels Through Time is not memorable either. I don't remember Putt Putt Travels Through Time.
No, Putt Putt Travels Through Time wasn't as good as Pyjama Sam.
On that note, Ron, here's some announcements. First announcement. I am officially going to be at the Edinburgh Fringe this year. What? I'll be doing a show at about the 4 o'clock mark from the 11th to the 21st of August. So if you're going to the Edinburgh Fringe this year, or you know people that are going, tell them to get me slotted in. The tickets aren't on sale yet, but start planning it. I'll be there. You should come. Okay. If you know anybody that lives in Auckland or Wellington, tell them about my shows there. I just got another TV show to do while I'm out there, Ron.
Oh my god.
I'm doing 2 TV
Flight
shows
of the
while
Conchords.
I'm in New Zealand. That's more TV than I've had in the UK over the last 2 years, Ron.
Yeah.
I think I might move to New Zealand and be a superstar.
Do it.
It's too far away from everybody I love.
Yeah, you'd suffer.
And I won't make new friends. Can you see Mackie?
I can hear Mackie.
What you talking about, Mackie? Have you got ideas for the podcast?
Well, enjoy the episode, folks.
No, the episode's happened, you fucking
Oh.
idiot.
Sorry, I was looking at Putt Putt Travels Through Time.
Ron, do you want to put out a plea to if anybody remembers the Simpsons platform game that you wanted people to remember?
Yeah, I can't even find pictures of it, but like The Simpsons famously made so much merch through the 80s and 90s that. But yeah, it was, and I can only really, like, I think when I was playing this, it was when, you know, it was when the sort of age with a computer where you would just click around, and sometimes with video games, you just do the first level because you couldn't complete it and stuff. But like, I'm pretty sure it was almost like a Lemmings thing, and there were like mice that you had to sort of funnel from one place to another, and you could play as different characters. I think, yeah, like itchy and scratchy mice. But yeah, do get in touch.
Yeah, please do. Oh, another thing that I want to crowdsource that the listeners will be the perfect people for is I'm currently doing some research into the use of the bare brick wall in stand-up comedy. Now, I know that this originated with the Hungry Eye in San Francisco and the Improv in New York, or maybe it's Chicago. Anyway, but can you send me or comment on social media? Let me know instances that stick out in your head of in cultural, like pop history of stand-up in front of a bare brick wall. Yes, Ron.
I've got one.
Yeah.
There's an episode of The Simpsons where Krusty turns into almost like a George Carlin-esque figure, and he starts doing stand-up slots. I think at Moe's in front of a bare brick
Simpsons
wall.
definitely use it. There's one where McBain does stand-up, and he does it in front of a bare brick wall too. But
Is
then
are the Seinfeld cutaways? Is that in front of bare brick?
Ron. So yesterday, I haven't watched a lot of Seinfeld. And I was doing some research yesterday, and short of watching all of the first 7 seasons, the Lego Seinfeld set is Seinfeld stood in front of a brick wall doing stand-up. But all the stills I could find yesterday were of him. It's curtains behind him. It's not bare
Interesting.
brick. So I don't know
Which
if
is
it
much
changed.
more realistic.
Yeah. I don't know if it changed later on, or do I need to go and watch like the first 7 seasons to check maybe they did use bare brick sometimes.
I don't get it with Seinfeld. I've tried a couple of times.
Yeah, I think I've watched the first few seasons. Maybe I need to do that just to double check so that I know for sure. But yeah, get in touch if you've got, especially early ones. I'm sort of trying to research and look into how the bare brick wall went from being literally just a thing that that was just from necessity because these clubs didn't have much budget, and so you just did it in front of the wall with the first stand-up comedy clubs, to becoming the symbol of stand-up comedy. So if you've got any info, get in touch. All right, Ron. We don't have any new patrons this week. We've got some upgrades, but Ron's holding on to them for this D&D thingy-majoggly-jiggle-lol that he's working on.
Those will come closer to the D&D stuff coming out because they need to. This isn't just random nonsense. Oh, you're a cod walloper from the Baggins. It's more like you'll actually feature in the thing, and so I want to actually know where you're going to feature.
Yeah. And if you can't afford to become a patron but you want to express your love, hey, share our stuff on social media or leave us a review. Reviews are great and we love to be loved. That's it, really. We'll see you next week.
Class dismissed.